ووصينا الإنسان بوالديه إحسانا
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهدي الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. لله ملك السماوات والأرض يخلق ما يشاء يحب لمن يشاء إناثا ويحب لمن يشاء ذكورا أو يزوجهم ذكرانا وإناثا ويجعل من يشاء عقيما إنه عليم قدير. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. أما بعد. My dear respected brothers, my respected elders, I welcome all of you with the Islamic greetings, the greeting of the people of Jannah and the greeting of peace, which is Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May the peace, blessings and mercies of Almighty Allah, Almighty God be upon all of you. Inshallah, my topic or my short speech will be about a child in the Islamic perspective. First, how are children treated before the advent of the Quran, before the coming of the last and final messenger, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This time in the Arab Peninsula was known as the Ayyamul Jahiliyyah, the time of the ignorant. These people lived a barbaric life. They buried their female children. The female children has no importance. They degrade them to the highest level. These people were living in insanity. You will hardly differentiate these people and mad people. But it's quite unfortunate that even till this, our 21st century, our present time, this act still continues, although in a different way. Then they buried the female children, but now we have what we call female infanticide, abortion of female children. And even some of our cultures and religions still support this. For example, Hinduism, it's clearly stated in their scripture about the superiority of the male child over the female child. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Surah Takwir, chapter number 81, verse number 8 to 9, وَإِذَا الْمَوْءُودَةٍ سُئِلَتْ بِأَيِّ ذَنْبٍ قُتِلَتْ. He said, and when the female child that is buried is asked, بِأَيِّ ذَنْبٍ قُتِلَتْ, for what sin are you being killed for? For what crime are you being killed? So when Islam came, it subdued this barbaric act. And as Muslims, we are not supposed to kill children for anything, for any reason. If human beings were able to create children, trust me, the rich people, that they'll be able to get children. Today, they are wealthy, but they don't have children. If scientists were able to create children, they would have had children. Time will not permit me. I would have elaborated on the requirement to produce a child. But they've tried. It's not possible. Maybe that's why they went back to creating robots, which can never be like the normal human being, the creation of Allah. And with this all long process that's impossible, with just 9 months, Allah will make it possible and you come out with the child. Subhanallah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Surah Ash-Shu'ara, Quran chapter number 42, verse number 49 to 50, the verse which I quoted earlier in the beginning of my speech. Lillahi mulku samawat wal ard. To Allah belongs the heavens and the earth. Yakhluqu ma yasha. He creates what He wills. Yuhibbu liman yasha'u inatha. He bestows to whom He wills female children. Wa yuhibbu liman yasha'u zukura. He bestows on whom He wills male children. أَوْ يُذَوِّجُهُمْ ذُكْرَانًا وَإِنَاثًا, or he bestows on whom he will both male and female children. Both. Mixture. وَيَجْعَلْ مَنْ يَشَاءُ عَقِيمًا. The word عَقِيمًا here is gotten from the root word akoma, which means infertility, barrenness. وَيَجْعَلْ مَنْ يَشَاءُ عَقِيمًا. He makes whom he wills barren, unable to bear children. إِنَّهُ عَلِيمًا قَدِيرٌ. He is the most knowledgeable and most powerful. According to me, if anyone should be blamed for the sex of the child, it should be the father. Because the woman has a standby X chromosomes. And the man is either comes with the X chromosomes or the Y chromosome. I know when you meet the wife with the X chromosomes, that is XX, they get a female child. And when it comes to the Y chromosome, XY, they get a male child. But as a Muslim, we are not supposed to blame anyone, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who gives children. As I've quoted earlier, he gives whom he wills male children. He gives whom he wills female children. He can give you both male and female. If he wills to make you barren, not to have children, they are all tests from Allah. Children are not just adornment. They are not just pomp and glitters. Children are also tests from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Surah Al-Kahf, Quran number 18, verse number 46, he says, Al-mal wal-banu zinat al-hayat al-dunya, that wealth and children are adornment of this world. Money, wealth, and children are adornment of this world. Now, because the time is short, let me quickly look at the last part, which is the rights of children. The right they have over their fathers. The first is you should give them a befitting name. You see, some parents they start complaining, this child behaves like this, behaves rudely. Check the name you gave to him. Maybe he's behaving like that name. So it's your responsibility as a parent to give your child a good and befitting name. Hazrat Umar bin Khattab, radiallahu anhu, the second Caliph of Islam, once a man came to him and he reported his son to him, said, this, my son, he does not give him a right. He's always disobedient. Then Hazrat Umar radiallahu anhu invited the boy over and told the boy, see what your father came to complain about you. And the boy said, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, don't I have right over my father? Don't a son has right over his own father? He said, sure. His son has his own right over his father. He said, what are the rights? He said, the first, that he should give him a good mother. The second, should give you a good name. And the third, that you should teach him the Quran. Then his son said, my father has not given me any of these rights. He said, my mother is a Magian, a fire worshipper. He gave me Julalan, which means scarab, beetle dump. And he has not taught me anything from the Quran. Then Umar radiallahu anhu faced the man. He said, you've wronged this boy before he wronged you. You didn't fulfill your right over him for him to fulfill his right over you. So the second is to educate them. Before I talk on this, I want to ask a question and I need answers. When is the best time to start educating your child? Please, anybody. The best time to start educating your child? And anyone, just give me an answer. From childhood. Okay, anyone? From childhood. Right from birth. No, some will say 7 years. Some will say 5. Some will say when they start talking. But according to the Sunnah, you should start planning of the education of your child when you are looking for a spouse, when you are looking for a life partner. Because if you marry a wayward woman, you are putting your child at risk. You know, there are some people, now love at first sight, they want to do India film in real life. And you say, get a non-Muslim. You say, she go bath. After she bath, after 2 months, she's tired of putting her head on the floor. You say, I know if you do again, no. Now church I go. Your child will go to church with her. So the first thing you should do is to marry a pious woman. Because the fate of your children is left in the hands of that woman. So you should marry a pious woman. That's when you start educating your child. You know your children are in safe hands. Secondly, so many people have a misconception on how to educate their children. They put so much importance in the Western education. Don't quote me wrong. Western education is good. MashaAllah. It's good we have doctors, we have lawyers, we have engineers. It's very good. But trust me, it will only benefit them in this world. They won't take that certificate to the hereafter. When you teach them the knowledge of Tawheed, the knowledge of Al-Islam, it will help them both in this world and the hereafter. And trust me, I call that investment. That's the real investment. Because when you die, your children will keep on praying for you. When you have a doctor in your house, you can only save him maybe when you are sick with Allah's permission. But when you die, intaha, you can only save those people that are staying in his hospital. But you can get both a good doctor and an alim in your house. You should train your children in the way that whatever point of time you leave them, yes, they stand firm. Make them from the beginning stand firm in the deen. That if you leave them at a very early age, if you leave them, if you die at a very early age, nothing can change this boy. Nothing can change this girl. I put them on the right track. And you should also teach them and train them to work for Jannah. Taqwa. Taqwa itself is another long topic which entails so many things. To teach them to fight and follow the major criteria of entry Jannah. As mentioned in Surah Al-Asr, Quran 103, verse 1 to 3, when Imam Shafi commented on this surah, he said, if this were to be the only surah revealed for mankind, it would have been sufficient. If this surah, Surah Al-Asr, were to be the only surah revealed for mankind, this would have been sufficient. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Wal asr, inna al-insana lafi khusr, illa alladhina amanu, wa amilu salihat, wa tawasaw bil haqqi wa tawasaw bis sabr. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Wal asr, by the talking of time, inna al-insana lafi khusr, verily man is in lost. Illa alladhina amanu, the first. Alladhina amanu, you should train them to be among the aminun. Illa alladhina amanu, take those who believe. Train them to believe in the Islamic monotheism. Train them to believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In the pillars of Islam. Teach them how to pray. Teach them how to read the Quran. To believe in Allah, His messenger, His angels, and everything concerning the Islamic. Teach them. It does not stop you from taking them to learn maths and English, which are equally important, but not as important as teaching them the Tawheed and the Islamic knowledge. The real investment. The second, وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ, teach them to be of good morals. There are so many things you should eliminate from the Prophet ﷺ. If in your house you read at least one hadith every day, trust me, not just the children, both the man and the woman, everybody, you benefit. Just make that a habit. Read one hadith of the Prophet every day, and you keep on learning new things, especially the hadith that talks about the manners of the Prophet and the teachings and manners of the Prophet ﷺ, so we emulate him properly. This would go a long way. And you yourself, you'll be happy. There's some people when you look at their child, you nod, you say, yes, I don't try. Now I'm picking with that. Anywhere you go, be proud. That's my son, that's my son. But when you have a wayward son, if your child is coming like this, where you're picking, you come. You're leaving for us. Where else is there? Because you are not proud of him. You didn't do your work. This, which is very important for both the children and the parents of the children, which so many people have neglected. What are also bil haq? Inviting people to truth. You should teach them or train them in the field of da'wah, inviting people to truth. And not just training them, they should also learn by emulation. You, the parents, you should also pick the habit of inviting people to the truth. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Surah Al-Imran, branch number 3, verse 104, He said, وَلْتَكُمْ مِنْكُمْ أُمَّةً يَدْعُونَ إِلَى الْخَيْرِ وَيَأْمُرُونَ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَيَنْهَوْنَ عَنِ الْمُنْكَرِ وَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُفْلِحُونَ. Let there arise amongst you a people, a band of people, inviting people to all that is good. وَيَأْمُرُونَ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ, enjoining what is good. وَيَنْهَوْنَ عَنِ الْمُنْكَرِ, and forbidding what is evil. وَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُفْلِحُونَ. Those are the people who have attained felicity. Those are the people who have attained success. Should train them to be among the people who have attained success and felicity. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Surah Nahl, Quran chapter 16, verse 125, say, "Id'u ila sabili rabbika bil hikmah wal mau'izatan hasana wajadilhum billati ahsan." Invite all to the way of thy Lord bil hikmah, with wisdom, wal mau'izatan hasana, and beautiful preachings, wajadilhum billati ahsan, and argue with them and reason with them in ways that are best and most gracious. So you should train your children to work and act in the field of da'wah. And the last one among the criteria is what our sabr is sabr. Inviting people to patience and perseverance. You should invite people to patience and perseverance. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Al-Ankabut, Quran chapter 29, verse number 2, أَحَسِبَ النَّاسَ أَن يُتْرَكُوا أَن يَقُولُوا آمَنَّا وَهُمْ لَا يُفْتَنُونَ. Do mankind think we will just leave them alone when they say, Amanna, we believe? وَهُمْ لَا يُفْتَنُونَ. Yuftanun from the root word fatana, which means trial, seduction, tribulation, test. وَهُمْ لَا يُفْتَنُونَ. I will not try them. I will not test them. The people who are most beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who came before you, who dedicated the whole of their life for serving Allah, Allah's messenger, they were all tested. That many of us might not be able to stand that test. They were beloved people of Allah. Even the Prophet Muhammad was tested. So who are you not to be tested? Who? What are you going to do? But during this time of test, what you should do is to stand firm in patience and perseverance. And you should also train your children to learn how to stay and stand in patience and perseverance. Inshallah, because of time, I will wrap it up. And before that, let me just list the others. They have right to feeding. You have to feed them. They have right to be fed. And also shelter, then security. And the list goes on. So I would like to end my speech with the quotation which I gave earlier in Surah Al-Ankabut, Quran chapter number 29, verse number 2. أَحَسِبَ النَّاسَ أَن يُتْرَكُوا أَن يَقُولُوا آمَنَّا وَهُمْ لَا يُفْتَنُونَ. Do mankind think
They'll be left alone.
by saying we believe that they will not be tested? وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين. السلام عليكم.